So you have this crazy idea that you want to build a custom home. It's natural for the first thought to be, what would it cost to build a custom home? So today, we're going to try to address that. It's complicated, and the disclaimer is, I can give you some budget ideas. Can't tell you exactly what your house costs, what your perfect home costs, because I don't know what it looks like. But with a little work, we can get there. But today's goal is to tell you some budget ranges to get you started. And if you stick around to the end, we'll talk about our 24-hour promise about budgets. So the journey begins. You've decided you want to build a custom home for whatever reason. You've got a young, growing family. You want to be in a perfect neighborhood, or you're looking at retirement and you've decided you want to move away or move to a different area, privacy, one-story living. You want a home with that you don't have to climb stairs. Whatever the reason you've decided to build a custom home, we're going to talk about what does it cost to achieve it. So first thing to remember is there's more than just the cost of the house. Let's talk about total project budgets. Total project budgets include 3 lines. That is land. What does it cost to buy a piece of property? If you have property, you can put a 0 if you want to. Land improvements. That is utilities, sewer, water. How are we getting them to the house? What does that cost? Engineering, building a driveway, removing trees, moving dirt, on-site or off-site. All those things go into the land improvement costs. We keep those separate so our clients can better understand where their money is going. And land improvement costs affect if somebody wants to buy a piece of property, and it also is less manageable. Some of the land improvement costs are what they cost. And then we come to the third, the big one that everybody thinks about is, what does it cost to build a home? And we're going to talk about that today and give you some really clear ideas of what does it cost to build a home. So I won't keep you waiting around. If you just want some dollars, the average cost of building a home here in central New Jersey, 2024, just for the house, is somewhere between $285 a square foot up to $400 a square foot, which would be kind of on the higher side of the range. That would be a 4-bedroom, 2 to 3 car garage, full basement, 3 bathrooms. Square foot numbers aren't really reliable, but for me to talk to you, give you an idea without knowing anything about you, that's a good budget range. You can build a really nice house between 300 to 330 a square foot. We're going to talk about some things now, the rest of this video, that affect that budget range and where you are in there. So the first one, 4 aspects that are the major contributors to the final cost of that home are design complexity. Number 1, how complex is that home design? You may not think it's complex. You might not see the complexities, but we'll talk to you about design complexity and how it affects your budget as we go through our design build process, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Next is quality of materials and labor. Higher quality materials are going to cost more to build a home. Everybody understands that one. We use a high quality material. We use high quality labor, but you can always go up, up, and up from there. And sometimes you get into products that are really special. People want to use siding, maybe from Germany, cabinets from Italy. Obviously, or maybe not so obviously, those materials will cost more than a product that's more readily used in our geography. So materials in Texas used for a custom home are going to be different many times than materials that we use here in New Jersey, different than materials that are used up in Michigan. And then next is energy efficiency. We build a very efficient home. It's tight. We reduce air loss as much as possible using best practices. However, some clients come to us and they want to do extraordinary things with their homes and their energy efficiency. So although we build a really energy efficient home, some people we work with now quite a bit want to do a future net zero home, which would mean we install all electric HVAC, for example, heat pump. We extra insulate. We go the extra mile and use some products that ensure even less air loss. And that home, once you add solar panels, really becomes a zero net at the end of the year to run that home. So we can produce as much electricity with some solar panels, potentially store it in batteries, and then use it in your home. And the home is so efficient, even when you're charging a car and cooking, using electric to make hot water, you can still come out with a net zero at the end of the year. So energy efficiency can significantly affect price. We can talk to you and be really clear about how it affects your price. And then lastly is special requests. We get special requests all the time. It's part of building a custom home, but having an indoor pool or an indoor basketball court in your basement will affect the cost of the home. These are important things to our clients, and we love it. It's an adventure for us. We learn something new, but they do affect the budget. And that's how you get up closer to that $400 a square foot number, by doing some really extraordinary things. One aspect of budgeting that we talk about in our first meeting is this the home that you've waited your entire life to build? You're looking at retirement, and this home is going to have all the aspects that you've ever wanted. It's going to have all the bells and whistles to make you happy as you spend more time there. That is one set of cost factors versus a young family has a growing number of children and they want to be in a good school system. They want to be on a good commute trail to work. They're going to build a home that they maybe anticipate being into until their kids graduate high school. We have all clients of all types with different goals, and that will affect where in that budget range you're going to be. Let's talk about design build. It's important to understand, the old way of doing things is you would hire an architect, then you'd go to a builder and you'd find out what it costs to build that perfect house that you drew with that architect. If the price is right where you want it to be, or price doesn't matter, which price always matters, then you're great. But majority of the time, you design that perfect home with an architect, you go to a builder and you find out it costs a lot more to build that house than you had anticipated it would. Then your friends told you it would. Then the information online told you it would, or even that architect told you it would, because that architect's not building homes every day. Through the design build process, we partner with you. We bring in an architect that we feel would be really suitable for your personality and your objectives. And we stay in a process where budget is something we work towards. Every time a design aspect comes out that our team feels that might take us above that budget, we'll tell you about it. We'll tell the architect about it. We'll make it a discussion point. Let's discuss those roof details, the complexity of the floor plan in some way, shape, or form that affects the overall budget and takes us away from where we started. If it's something that's important to you, let's do it. Understanding it will affect your budget and how it will affect your budget. That's part of that design build process. You have a builder as a partner from the beginning, affecting where the cost is at the end. And we have other videos on design build and why we think it's so important. Then lastly, is the value of quality and craftsmanship. That affects the budget as much as any of those other aspects. Quality materials, which we only use quality materials, but you can use a quality material. You can use a super high quality material. The same is true with craftsmanship. We have craftsmen on our jobs, for example, installing our windows, who install windows every day. They are certified, specialized in the type of window we're using, and they understand all the best practices with that window. that is a Craftsman. But then if you decide you want to go with windows made in Europe because of their functionality, we're going to bring in a Craftsman that's trained, certified, and experienced in installing that type of window, and that's going to affect your budget. You can have really good quality products, and you want to have good craftsmanship. You have to understand the value of buying a good quality product and having a bad craftsman install it, somebody that's low skill, cheapest. It will take away from the quality of that product no matter what is done if they're not the right level of craftsman for that material. So that's pretty much it. Those are the things that affect that budget. And our 24-hour promise is that if we have a client that's interested enough in building a custom home and they get up the nerve to call us and they give us a few minutes to talk to them about their home and they explore their ideas and their dreams and their vision to us, within 24 hours, we'll get back to them with a budget. We'll give them an idea of what it'll cost to build that house. It might be a range. It might be based on another home just like that one that we've built recently, and we can tell them exactly what that house costs to build, and they can understand what the costs are. So that's the promise. 24 hours, call us, talk to us. If you're in our area and we can help you, then we're going to get back to you within 24 hours, whether it's on that phone call right away, or if it's an email later the day or the next morning. We're going to get back to you with what we think is a good starting budget based upon what you've told us. I hope that helps. I hope this time is valuable. If you're interested in this subject of building a custom home and some of the ins and outs, give us a follow because we have lots of video content coming out. Thanks.